So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Webinar Wednesday from Sight and Sound Technology. For this, the 4th of May, may the 4th be with you, Sharon said just before we came on air. So welcome, everyone. My name is Stuart Lawler. I'm from Sight and Sound Technology, and I'm my colleague Sharon Lyons, who is our low vision guru and expert in particular with the Mercury technology that we're going to show today, is also with us. Today's webinar is all about the Mercury 13, our new low vision tech, which of course is much more than just a magnification aid, and really useful in particular in a school setting, and you'll see all about that in just a couple of moments. If you would like to engage with us today, of course, during the session, we'd love to hear from you. You can do so by raising your hand with Alt and Y, or activating the raise hand button, or you can type in chat with Alt and H or activate the chat button. If you are chatting, please make sure that you click to send your messages to all panelists and attendees so that everybody can join in the conversation, and I'll be keeping a close eye on raised hands and chat. Now, before we hand over to Sharon, I want to promo an event we're running on the 19th of May for Global Accessibility Awareness Day. We're going to be producing, or at least launching on that day, on our YouTube channel, a very special pre-recorded webinar to talk about the whole state of global awareness of the landscape at the moment in terms of its accessibility, and we have some professionals from the accessibility industry who are joining us for that event on the 19th of May. So that will be released in just over 2 weeks from today. So Sharon, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to hearing all about the new Mercury 13.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Stuart, and hello everyone on this rather cloudy May, 4th of May. So one of the things I love about working for Sight and Sound is that we get to play with lots of new equipment, and we also can be very impartial about them. And we would only really have equipment on our kind of portfolio if we know it works in real life. And so when I heard about the Mercury 13, I was like, great, sounds great, but I want to get it, I want to try it, and I want to show it to other people in the know who can have a look at whether it's going to work in real life. And I am very impressed and excited. So it's at top of the range, the newest surface, 2 screens and a USB hub inbuilt, and I'm going to show you all of that. But first of all, I'm just going to adjust my screen here so I can welcome to my home office again. And I'm going to just, hopefully you can see my table there and not so much me, which is fine. It's grand. So this is the Mercury 13. It folds flat, and if you're familiar with the Mercury 12, it looks very familiar. It's made by a company called TriSight. I hope everyone can see that okay. Please do put something in the chat if not. So I'm going to start from scratch, unfold it and build it all up for you with all its different parts. So you basically unfold it by pulling the top from the bottom plate and moving the screen out towards you. Now this is a Surface Pro 8, which means it's the next generation of Windows Surface tablets, and it has a slightly bigger screen, hence the Mercury 13, because it's a 13-inch screen on the diagonal there. So the Mercury 12 is a 12-inch, so that's nice and logical. You can always take the tablet out of the stand, which is done with this kind of bendy clip on the right hand side, and you push that back gently, and you push. Oh, this is a little bit tricky to get out. Making sure that you don't pull on the little shelf at the bottom of where the surface slots in. And if I can find the little stand, there we go. The inbuilt stand. So there's an inbuilt stand on the back of the surface, and you can use it as a tablet on its own. And when you put it back in, you turn it upside down and slot it back in onto the ledge on the top and push it all the way until it clicks. I would recommend keeping it in the stand actually, because it gives you extra protection for your tablet while using it, and it's actually quite nice to use in the stand because you can adjust it and have the screen whichever way you want it angled. Okay, so let's switch it on. The on switch is now, because the surface is upside down. The reason why the surface is upside down, by the way, is because it uses the camera on the surface, because it's a really good camera. So it uses the camera for near magnification, so we can put books underneath, same as the Mercury 12. But the on switch, which I used to always press on the Mercury 12 accidentally, so I was switching things off all the time. The on switch is now on the bottom left side of the tablet. So we can press that to switch it on, and the volume, if I can feel it there, is on the bottom right side of the tablet. But because it's upside down, up is down and down is up. Okay, so you press down to bring the volume up. And it made a little sound there, which is sound that we will all need to get used to. It's the Windows 11 sound. So it's a Surface Pro 8 running Windows 11. And if you haven't used Windows 11 yet, I'm about to change my laptop, slightly apprehensive about it, but there's not a lot of difference. There's still a start menu. Of course, this is a tablet, so it's a touch screen. I just wonder if the lighting is very good here. You can see that screen. You get the idea anyway. And the main thing to be aware of here, it's Windows 11. It's a full Windows machine. So it's like a Windows 11 laptop. And it comes with 256 SSD hard drive. And the kind of standard model is 8 gig RAM. That's the kind of go-to spec, it seems, for even the Surface Pro 8s. We are looking to offer an option of a 16 gig RAM, but obviously there will be more cost involved with that. So we have a full Windows machine. We can run Word. And because it's a touch screen, we can zoom in and out. Now, it comes with a keyboard, which I'll just switch on there, a Bluetooth keyboard, which has nice large white letters on a black background, and a little touch pad and mouse buttons there. So I can type here, may the 4th be with you. Sorry, I'm a Star Wars fan. And you won't be able to see that very well there, but I can zoom in because it's a touch screen. So I can zoom in, or I can always bring up the type. In Word, if you're a student using this and you have Word running, you can set your own default text style and size, so font that you prefer. And it will always come up with that size for you. But we can zoom in and out so we can see the whole page, or we can just see the line that we're on. Okay. So just think, as with the Mercury 12, just think laptop. Anything you can do on a laptop, you can do on a Surface. Okay. Now, one of the things I love about the Surface Pro 8 and the Mercury 13 as well is that they've integrated, if I can find it here, a USB hub. That's actually quite hard for you to see. I'm trying to turn it, there we go, to the light, sunshine. Ooh, sun's come out. We have 1, 2, 3 USB standard slots in there, and on the Surface itself we have 2 USB-C slots, and that's what it's plugging into. We plug the stand into one of the USB-C slots, and then that activates the USB hub. And we also have this tiny little switch here, see if I can find it. It's grand when you know where it is. We also have a little light underneath there. So if you're reading underneath the Mercury 12, you can switch on a light that might actually take off some glare. Depends very much on the environment that you're in with lighting and everything, daylight and fluorescent lights and things like that. So they've put the light in there so that you can plug that in. You don't have to charge it separately anymore either. It charges from the Surface. In fact, oh, we've gone upside down. No, everything charges from the Surface. So you only have to charge one piece of equipment. And we have our Surface charger connection here, which is also on the left-hand side of the Surface. So we can plug our charger in. It's magnetic. There's a little light that comes on that goes off when I disconnect it. So I know that it's connected and charging. Question I get asked loads is how long does the battery last? And which is slightly how long is a piece of string, but it's like any laptop, depends what you're doing. If you're watching videos or using several cameras constantly, it will affect the battery. There's different battery schemes in Windows that you can choose for best battery life, but it is designed to work a full school day. In effect, worst case, you charge it up at lunchtime. And so that's the Surface. I think that's everything on the Surface. Stuart, any questions yet?
Not yet. I do have a raised hand, but I was just conscious to wait until you're ready to take some questions. It's up to yourself, Sharon.
Well, that's before I start going into the software. I don't know. You know me. I like to hear another voice.
Okay. Well, so, then we have a raised hand from Andrew Summers, who's a regular Webinar Wednesday attendee up in Glasgow. So, Andrew, I'm going to invite you to unmute yourself if you'd like to. We have you, Andrew.
Stuart.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Hi, Andrew.
Fighting the good fight, as we say over here.
Sharon. Great piece of kit by the look of it.
So far, so good. Yeah.
Yeah. A quick question is, I know you were just about to say about something about software. I was going to raise a quick question on pricing.
Actually, Andrew, you've a good, because that's just come up on chat as well. So
it has, yes. Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on.
And if it is affordable, because I've got JAWS on my laptop. If I wanted one, could I keep my own JAWS and buy the actual device that you've got there and have my JAWS put on it?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. So it's like a laptop. So it's just the difference is it's a touch screen, and the Mercury 13 has a stand specifically for using the magnification features that I'm going to talk to you about next. So
Right. Well, I wouldn't be using magnification, but I was saying that it'll be sort of handy if I was in a restaurant and I wanted to read a menu.
Oh, it's not, I wouldn't say it's that portable, actually.
Is it not?
Yeah, it's more like a kind of a briefcase size than a
Oh, right.
than a handheld, if you see what I mean. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. So it's like so like your laptop, you work away at your laptop. It's more like a kind of a workstation than a handy, like whip it out your bag and read something quickly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is portable in that you can take it from classroom to classroom, or you can take it from work to home to study in that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll come back on pricing, I think, in a little while, Sharon, won't we?
Yeah, if we can. We'll hold off on pricing once I've shown you all the bits
and pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andrew, thanks
very
a mil.
much, Andrew.
Good to speak to you. Okay.
Right, thanks.
Great
Take
question.
care. Bye-bye.
Again.
Bye. Okay. Just before we carry on, Sharon, a couple of questions in chat. Can you use the distance camera on split screen with a Word document open for note taking in class?
Yes, I'm going to show you that.
Okay, that's fine. And Peter asks, does the keyboard feature backlighting, and is there an on-off switch for the keyboard when it's not attached to the base?
Aha, brilliant question. I do think it has backlight here, but there's definitely an on switch. So you can switch it on and off on the back there. It takes 2 AAA batteries, as I remember, and it does have a kind of standby feature as well. So it's the same, well, it's a very similar keyboard, although it seems a bit more responsive than the Mercury 12 one. I don't know whether they've improved it or something, but it has like a standby. So if you don't use it for a while, it'll kind of go to sleep or go into a standby, and then you just have to kind of, hit any key to wake it up again. The backlight here, let me try something here. No, I think is the answer to that. Do you know, sometimes you have all these, well, on most kind of laptop keyboards, you have action keys on the function keys. And I was just looking to see if one of those, trying to decipher what they are. Oh my goodness, what am I doing now? It's doing something else.
Okay, well, we can follow up with that.
Trying to log
anyway.
into mail.
Yeah.
No, I thought something was a backlight there, but no, there are other things on that. So great question though.
Okay, thanks for that question, Peter. And if anybody else has questions, you can raise your hand if you want to speak, or put your question in chat and we will come to that in due course.
So I'm going to put the keyboard to one side for a moment, and I'm going to get my favorite book for trying out magnification, and so I can show you the near magnification to start with. So the software that is used is called Redesk. It's the same name of software in the Mercury 12, but obviously a later version. So we'll just run Redesk, the shortcut on the desktop there. So double tap on that. And then because we're using the camera on the surface, I can adjust the stand, and I can, because it's touchscreen, I can zoom in on some text there. Now you might not be able to read it there, but you can hopefully get the idea. This is my favorite booklet for doing this kind of thing because it has some interesting different size fonts in it and lots of pictures. And it's all about biodiversity in your own garden, so which is very important. So so I have zoomed in on some text there. I can also zoom in on this little toolbar that comes down from the top. This is the same as, whoa, okay, right in there. This is the same as the Mercury 12, zoom in and zoom out. And I can also use the pinch to zoom in and out. As with the Mercury 12, you can change the colors. So you might even be able to read this now. I've just swapped it to white on black. You might actually be able to read it better. But as soon as we go to a picture, it all looks a bit odd. I think they're strawberries. But what I can do is I can swap back to full color, she says. Oh, there you go. And they are strawberries. There's a picture of strawberries there for Grow Your Own, which is something that I do. Just the best tasting strawberries ever if you grow your own strawberries. And I can see the picture. And then I can move a bit further down or across, find some more text. And I'm like, okay, I need my color scheme back, so I can tap again. And I go 3-finger tap to switch to my color scheme. So remember that color scheme unless I change it, and there are loads more, so I can tap on the little palette at the top. That one's a rather nice one with a yellow background. That's very popular. And whatever sight condition the student has or the user has, they may prefer a particular color scheme, and also depends on what you're reading as well. So some color schemes might be better on certain books. Now, at some point now, if I move down, I found some more text, and then I'm moving to the bottom of the page, all about the All Island Pollinator Plan. But at some point, I might get stuck on the stand. Now, even though there is space at the back to go push my book through to get right to the bottom of the page, I might come across a bit of obstruction there. So this is where we like to take a picture of the page. So to take a picture, this hasn't changed with the Mercury 13. We have to lift up the screen parallel with the desk. And we zoom right out. And we just take a little bit of time. Depending on the student, they might need a little hand with this. You can't see what I'm doing, so trust me. And I'm just lining up the page. So I got everything in it, and I can just tap it once just to refocus. And then I go to the toolbar and take a picture. So what I always do here is I press the little picture of a floppy disk. There's a blue button, and then there's a green button for camera. So that has taken that has taken a picture. And I always save it because I might want to come back to it rather than the instant take a picture and read, which is the other green button on the toolbar. So save a picture, and then I can go open the little folder button, and I have today's date. And there's the picture of the page that I've taken. I can spin it around, get it the right way up. Now I don't have to move my page around. I can zoom in and move around with my finger on the touch screen. Now I can't change the colors at the moment because I took a picture in my chosen color scheme. But we could try something else that's new to get around there. And then I can always press the little person reading a book button. And now it's going to grow your own. Growing your own fruits and vegetables will provide flowering plants for pollinators to feed on, and you'll reap the rewards. And hopefully you can read that. Okay, I'm just going to close that for now because I know I was playing with the settings. And we'll come back to that in a moment. So we'll come out. Okay. Now, when we take a picture of the page, which I might take a picture of the page in full color mode to get the pictures. So bear with me Pull the surface up parallel with the desk. Get a really nice picture with everything in it. Tap to refocus. Save button, photo button. Now, I'm just going to go into the settings and pick a, oh, where are we? Reading. And pick, yeah, digital text, which is a new option. So we've got original where it reads the picture of the page. We've got wrapped where it takes all the text off the page, and I'll show you that in a moment. And we've got digital text. So now, if I go in and open my saved picture and get the full color one, spin it around so it's the right way up. Now I can see the pictures. And if I choose to read it, great. Oh, the joys of a prototype. Okay, I couldn't quite show you that there. Let me just switch it off and on again. I'm just going to close the software and switch it back on again.
Have you time to take a couple of questions in chat while we're doing that, Sharon? Because some of them could be quick and
I'd say show you something really impressive there, but never mind.
Okay,
okay.
we will come back to that, I think. Let's have a chat. So, sorry, yes, we talked about the distance camera and split screen with a Word document, and we said yes to that. So we're asked, is the Mercury 12 a computer and magnifier also? So
yes,
it is,
yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
The Mercury 12 is almost exactly the same, but the software is slightly different. So that's why I wanted to show you the digital text, because that wasn't available in Mercury 12 software. And it's just that the Mercury 12 is on a 12-inch Surface Pro 7, and the Mercury 13 is on a 13-inch Surface Pro 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carol is asking, can you capture as an image for later? So I suppose I'm guessing, can you capture and save the image maybe?
Yes.
For later on.
Thank you for that. I will show you that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try and get through a batch of these because I think they're relatively straightforward questions.
Excuse me.
Jade is asking, can you use the device to handwrite, or would it be more for reading, do you think?
You can use it to handwrite. Yes, definitely. It's kind of designed a lot for reading, taking pictures and reading back and everything. But here, if you had a pen, you could put your pen underneath. I don't know how well you can see that, the light, but you can put your pen underneath and you could write with it. So you could zoom in, fill out a form or something with a pen. And the only thing about that, going back with CCTVs, because it's like a CCTV, but previous CCTVs, you're always looking at the screen, not at your pen. With this, because you're kind of underneath, it's a bit easier. You know, you're still looking at the screen and not your pen, but you're kind of looking in the right direction, if you see what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a somewhat related question, I think, from Martha, who has her hand raised. She said, I wanted to ask about drawing or doing an exercise with my child. I guess it's something similar to the question about being able to handwrite or use the device to maybe do some paper-based stuff.
Yeah, so if you had the device as an aid to like reading with your child, that would certainly work. Yeah, so whatever you were looking at, I guess you'd both be looking at the screen then, so you could put something underneath and both share it together, you know, and you can zoom in on the screen, definitely. Yeah.
Maria asks, can the Mercury 13 be linked to hearing aids via Bluetooth?
I assume so.
I'm guessing if you have Bluetooth compatible hearing aids,
Yep.
it should be, because it's a Windows machine.
Yeah.
And
it has Bluetooth, definitely. Yeah.
And Tracy asks, is training available?
Yes. When we kind of have a package that we put together, particularly
in Ireland, that is.
In Ireland, we
Yeah,
do. Yeah.
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 So
in Ireland.
I think Tracy's in the UK. So Tracy, there is training, and you just contact our sales team to get the rates for that.
You can certainly get training on whatever you want training on.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we do a kind of a package of schools here, but I can talk a bit more about that later.
Brilliant. Okay, so we're all caught up on the chat. And again, if anyone else wants to put a question in chat for Sharon, we'll keep an eye on those. And you can also raise your hand if you would prefer to ask your question in person. And Tracy says, thank you for confirming the answer on training.
Lovely. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks for that. Great question. Great questions. Thanks for that. Now, back to our reading then. Shall I try it again? I'll just give it another go. So I have my saved pictures. And just on that question, actually, that someone asked about saving things for later. Remember this, I have my saved pictures and they're all under a particular date. That is actually referring to a folder on the Surface. So we can go and get and access all these pictures in that folder as well as part of this software. Now, so spin it round, check I've got the right page. Give the digital text a go again. Now. You can still create a magic pot or window box. I know what it is now. Now, I can just tap to say stop. Why it was saying some gobbledygook is there's a picture under here. There's a picture with some writing on it, and it's kind of white writing on a grey background. It's a great piece of kit, but if the contrast isn't good enough on the page, it will always struggle with it. Okay, so that's what's happening there. But the good thing about this digital text is that I can change the color. I can change the colors of the page to whatever color I want it to be. And also we have the digital text setting. If I get it round to back around, here we go. So now we have a digital text version. A digital text version here, which is putting, sorry, it's very hard to see with the light. Oh, that's better. So it's putting text over the actual picture of the text. So it's trying to make it very clear text. So that's what's happening there. So that's digital text. So we can see our pictures, and then the digital text is overlaying the picture of the text. So that might make it a bit clearer to see. And if we like that, we can save a picture like that. And we can also, we've got another save. So the camera was to save the picture, and we've got another little floppy disk here, which I'm going to press just because I like floppy disks. Now that second floppy disk is saving the text off the page. Okay, so that's a new feature, digital text. I guess depending on what you're looking at, it might come out slightly differently. And that's why there's so many options, is that you can use the different options for reading based on what the user finds the most useful, most comfortable to read. And we can come out of that now. The other option in reading is the wrapped option, which is also in the Mercury 12, where we can look at one of our pictures. I'll just get the color one for the sake of it, and doesn't really matter. And now if I press the reading button, now everything is in text. You can still create a magic pot or window box. Yeah, there's that gobbledygook from the little bit of white writing. This is why I like, it's a great example, this book of reading difficult things. So we have all our text there. We can zoom in and out. We can change colors. We can change the highlight color as it's reading. That you could not do in the Mercury 12. So in the Mercury 12, it wasn't quite as easy.
Growing your own fruits and vegetables will provide flowering.
There we go. And there's a save, there's another floppy disk. Nobody uses floppy disks anymore, but they are the global icon for saving things. And that save there is to save the text. Let's just press it anyway. Okay, so that's the wrapped mode. So we can read the picture of the page, we can read just the text off the page, and we can read like the digital text overlaid on the page. So it's an extra option there. Okay, and if I just come out for a moment, I'll just show you where those pictures are saved. So I can go into my file explorer and I can go to pictures, and there's a folder here called Redesk, and then I have a folder with today's date on it. I know you can't see this very well, I'm very sorry, but you just have to trust me. And we have 4 pictures there that I took today. You can always change the view and have slightly larger icons on that. But I've got a little thumbnail of each one. So even though I can't see exactly, I could open one. If I open it, this is the first time I've done this, I can open it just as a photo. I'm getting a choice of programs here of how to open it. So one of the things I like to show in the classroom is opening something with Paint 3D, which then gives you the option of writing on the page. So what I can do is I can just spin this around. Here's my page. I can zoom in on the page, and if this was a worksheet or something, I can write on it. I could highlight things. Whoa, I must have pressed something with the on the touchscreen there. And then I can move to a different part of the page. I don't know how well, you probably can't see that very well, but there's my white writing. Well, yeah, you can't see it. That's kind of illustrates the whole problem with that. So this is not good contrast. And then I can come out of that and save it. I could email it to my teacher, print it, whatever I want to do with that. Let's put that pen away. So it's saved in the pictures folder, and saving the text is saved in a folder in documents called Redesk Text. So I can just open one of these and it will have, it just opens it in Notepad because it's just text. And because it's touchscreen, I can zoom in on Notepad, even the simplest program. And if I wanted to, I could type there. Now the on-screen keyboard has come up because I switched off my other keyboard. So yeah, so the kind of example is if this was a worksheet, I could take a picture and write the answers on, or I could save the text off it and type the answers in. So it gives you lots of different options there. So come out of that. As it's like a laptop, you can use, everything was very small there because it's quite a high resolution surface. You can use your Windows magnifier, you can install Zoom text on here, you know, so you can have your, or JAWS, you can have your speech and everything. So you can put whatever programs you need. Okay.
Have we time
Should we
for
have
some
a
more
little break?
chats,
Yeah.
Sharon? Yeah, brilliant.
Well, I go on to the
Peter,
next bit.
yeah, Peter asks if the Mercury 13 provides a space to use the Surface Pen. Is there any support for the Microsoft Surface Pen, as this could be useful in an educational context?
Hopefully what I just did answered that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a PC stylus that I was using there to then write on the picture that I took.
Yeah, perfect. And yeah, Leanne asks, can you change the name of the picture so that it's not just a date, the image?
Oh,
file?
yes, yes. When I was in, thank you, I meant to say that. So, you know, this is your file explorer with your pictures and your documents folders. So you have to save everything to the Redesk, pictures Redesk, and it will automatically save it into a folder with the date. But then those files, you can rename them. You could take them out, put them into a folder, organize them, have a folder for each subject, take the ones that you need, delete the rest, do a bit of housekeeping. And I mean, Windows file management is a skill that you need in pretty much every walk of life. So if you're using Windows, managing your files is a really good skill to learn. So it's just Windows file management, really.
Brilliant. And Peter just asks, is there a place to store the Surface Pen in the base of the Mercury?
Ooh.
Or would you just, I guess, put it in the pack or something with it? Or...
Some of these are magnetic. Yeah, my one is magnetic. Not all of them are, but yeah, that's sticking to the surface. Anyway, I find there's a little ridge at the top that it kind of sits on, but I mean, that's not holding it in place or anything, but you could just sit it on the top there. I usually just keep it back in its box so I don't lose it, because I'm likely to do something like that. So I keep it in its box, but you could just rest it if you're not using it while you're using the Mercury 13, just at the top there. Thank you, Peter.
Brilliant. Thanks, Peter.
Right, anything else?
That's all our chats. No raised hands at the moment.
Lovely. Now, it's just me. The only thing is when you turn, I put my pen on the top there, when I turn the screen, when I move the screen up, it falls off. Great. Not so foolproof, that idea. Okay, so I was showing you the USB hub here. So we've got a USB ports built into the stand and our light and everything. So there's one USB port that is on the left-hand side here and specifically works well for the distance camera, which I'm going to plug into that there, and we'll hear it make a noise, which is always good. So this is the Mercury 13 camera, very similar to the Mercury 12 camera. So this is distance camera, and it has buttons on the top for zooming in and out. Oh, I haven't even opened the software and it's ready to go. And it has like a kind of a bit that you can slot into the back of the stand, and a setup so that you can move every which way, pretty much. Just watch your cable. And we can point it at my very interesting magnets on the filing cabinet, which I'm sure some of you have discovered before. So now if I open my Redesk software, it always opens on the near magnification with the inbuilt camera on the surface, but I should have a yellow button with a picture of a telescope. Boom. And now we have our distance camera. So I can zoom out and in. This is my Spanish magnet, which is it's a magnet of a Spanish lady dancing with all the I forgot what they're called, the clicky things. And she always seems to turn upside down for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe she's actually Australian. And here's my favorite magnet. And what I can do here now is I can zoom in. I can pinch to zoom. Maybe a bit too close here actually, because this is designed for whiteboards, which are a good few feet away. So this is my favorite magnet and I can take a picture of it, like I could take a picture of the pages before, and I could open my picture, and it's will be stored in the pictures folder again. So, and then I could zoom in on it here and read it. So my favorite magnet says, "I have not lost my mind, it's backed up on disk somewhere." So I can keep that for later. I won't actually get it to read it because I know for a fact that it can't cope with the, the writing on that, because it's not very clear writing and it has a lot in the background. So what we could do, like if I zoom out, I can, oops, if I can zoom out using the plus and minus on the screen, or I can zoom in and out using the buttons on the camera. And if I zoomed right out, imagine if I know for a fact, because I've tried it in classrooms, I could fit a whole whiteboard in that. Then I could take a picture, open it up, and find my picture. Now I can zoom in and move around the different magnets. My upside down Spanish lady and my favorite one there. So if that was a whiteboard full of information, you could take a picture, save it, and save it into your subject folders. All that pressure of trying to get all that information down is gone because you can just take a snapshot. Now, there's our distance camera. Now, the really new thing, are we ready for the really new thing?
Yeah, we have a couple more questions, but if you want to do the new thing, and then we can go to the chat.
Okay. We have a second screen. So this is a custom-made bracket on a second screen that we can slot into the back of the, this usually goes in real easy, there we go. It's just because I couldn't see it so well there from the side. It plugs into the other USB-C port on the surface. It powers off the surface. It's just starting up there. And basically what it is an extension. Let's go up so you can see it. It is an extension of your Surface screen. So what we can do is we can do a split screen. So we can look at the book underneath on the Surface screen and the distance camera on the top screen. Now the brightness, that's pretty good for me looking full on at it. You can turn up the brightness on this second screen. I thought I did turn this up earlier and it went back down again for some reason. There, that's better. So let's get that off that. So now we can adjust the brightness on that top screen. So we have our distance camera on the top screen and our near camera on the bottom screen. So we can look at our book and look at the whiteboard at the same time. We can still zoom in, she says. We can still zoom in on the top with our distance camera. There we go. Sometimes it just needs a little reset. And we can also, if we go to the bottom half of the screen, we can zoom in. Oops. We can zoom in on our book underneath. We've got plus and minus on there as well. We can still save a picture of our book, and we can save a picture of the distance camera view as well. And because of that brilliant question earlier, we can also do something else on this screen. So we could have our whiteboard up on the second screen above, and then let's just see if I can do this now. Okay, I'll need the keyboard. I have to change the Redesk software from being a full screen software to being a window. And I know a keyboard shortcut, of course, to do that. Usually you can pull down from the top as well, but that's not actually working on the Surface for some reason. So I'm going to press Windows, Shift and Enter, and that actually makes the Redesk a window that I can minimize, or I can switch Alt Tab between different things. So if I minimize that and open Word, so I have my Word down here. So I can type away if I want to, or I could run any other program, or I could look at an ebook, or I could go on the web, only if you're allowed to. But I can still see the whiteboard at the same time. So it's basically just an extension screen. So same as in any laptop or Windows environment where you can use a second screen, it's extended it, and the Redesk software specifically allows you to split the screen with the distance camera, and it puts that up on the second screen. If you're in the middle of class and you feel a little bit kind of sectioned off because of this screen, you can also just turn it down or bring it back up again. So I can, with the stand, I can tilt it forward or actually push it right back. Or even, we were playing with this in the school the other day, because it almost acts like a little stand on its own, the bit that fits into the Mercury 13 stand. You could just put it to one side if you wanted to. Depending on the amount of desk space you have, you could have your second screen to the side there. Of course, this is all adjustable, the stand and everything. So you can just set it up exactly how you want to set it up based on you as a user, desk space, and etc. Okay, that is the Mercury 13, all the bits and all the software features. So
what a demo, Sharon. That's absolutely brilliant. You never disappoint with all this stuff, which is great. So a couple of questions that have come up. A question from Joe, who asks, in relation to pens, can you use any brand of digital pen with Surface Pro? She lost hers. She said they're quite expensive.
Oh yeah, no, probably you can get them. You know, obviously the Microsoft ones are quite expensive. But yeah, any PC stylus, any standard PC stylus you can use. Yeah, if it says Windows on it. Yeah. Okay,
the next question, God, there's not much about this device I can answer, but I can answer this one. So question is, can you install Redesk Online, or do you have to buy that software from yourselves or TriSite, and that has to be purchased?
Yeah,
not something you can install.
Now you can possibly, or maybe I shouldn't say this, but there may be an option that if you already have a Surface Pro 8, you could buy the software and the stand and everything. If you already have a Surface. Potentially, I'm not sure whether we have that an option yet.
Don't think we have. So it's not that we don't. It's TriSite don't allow it with the licensing. I think so. But you'd need to talk to us, I suppose, if you have that question. And Mary asks, what is the maximum magnification on the distance camera?
Yes, now I wrote down these specifications. So it's a 20 times optical zoom on the camera at 60 frames per second. So it's the Orion distance camera. If that answers your question. Now, 20 times optical zoom, that's, you know, when I was pressing the buttons and zooming in and out, that's the optical zoom, but then you have an extra level of magnification with the pinch to zoom. So the optical zoom will refocus on the distance camera, so you can zoom in and out and it will get a really good picture. And then once you have that really good picture, you can then pinch to zoom further if you need to.
Okie doke.
So 20 times plus. Okay.
And does the distance camera have an optical zoom? Is this controlled through the software and the buttons on the camera?
Yes.
I think we just mentioned that, so that's good.
Yeah. Great question. Yeah.
Carol asks, is the second screen an additional cost? And yeah, we will be going through pricing in a sec.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, there is a cost for that. And some comments, people saying the second screen looks brilliant. Thank you to Geraldine, who's saying she has to go, but she really enjoyed it.
You're very welcome.
Peter is asking, is it possible to purchase the distance camera separately or the Redesk software separately to use on a different machine? And this kind of goes back to the question we had a moment ago. I know we have requested that before, but I think TriSite it's not an option they have available at the moment.
It's a package, yeah. It's kind of an all-in-one package, because the stand is designed to work, because you can't really use the Redesk without the stand. You know, it would be awkward you'd have to hold your surface up to put the book underneath and that. So it is designed to work with the stand and everything.
Now, great question from Anna, which I think, Sharon, will lead you very nicely into talking about what you've done for schools in Ireland. Is there a carry case that fits everything, including the extra screen?
Well, yes. I've just been talking to our guys about this yesterday. What we have is we have a Mercury 13 education system where we put a few extra bits in just to make sure that you get the most out of the equipment. So it comes with a backpack, which is like a standard 17-inch laptop backpack. So it's got the padding inside it. So you can fold up your Mercury 13 and put it in there. The Mercury 13 also comes with a laptop bag like this. So if you prefer to use that, and pretty much everything fits into it, including the second screen, but it's a bit tight with the camera as well, squashing the camera in there. So you have a backpack. You also have a sleeve for the surface if you take the surface out. A sleeve, hopefully we're looking at getting some kind of cover that you can put the second screen in just to keep it safe in the bag. I'm currently using bubble wrap. And then we also put in the pen. So it comes with our education system specifically, it comes with a stylus pen and headphones, so you're not listening to it read out in class or in the middle of in public, and Dolphin Easy Reader as well. So an ebook software where you can download all your books and open them up. Rather than having to carry books, you can open up books on your bookshelf in Easy Reader and read them from there. I think that's everything, is it? Okay,
that is a cuddly toy,
no cuddly
absolutely. Toy. And I suppose finally then, Sharon, and we're getting some nice people saying they really found it very interesting. Some people have to head. Oh yes, sorry, we're being asked, is there a Bluetooth keyboard? And there is, of course.
Oh yes, thank you. I knew there was something else. There is the Bluetooth keyboard that comes with it, but also, thanks for that, because I forgot, there's a full size keyboard as well and separate mouse that we put in as a kind of a backup, or for people who prefer using a full size keyboard with a number pad and everything. So they are USB keyboard and mouse that comes with it in our education system that we offer in Ireland. And of course we have a USB hub in our stand, so we can plug them in.
Yeah, which is great to have the extra ports. So we've had some great feedback, so thank you to everybody. Just before we go then, Sharon, do you want to run us through the pricing?
Okay, yes. So I'm just seeing a chat coming up about
Easy Reader,
it's just an interesting one about Easy Reader.
Yeah, definitely the RNIB Bookshare, of course, and RNIB Reading Services, and over here we have Bookshare Ireland. So there's a whole rake of stuff available through Easy Reader, which is brilliant.
So there's a whole list of libraries that you can connect to and download into Easy Reader there, which is very handy. So the prices we have at the moment, and now we're just kind of finalising this at the moment, aren't we, Stuart? So rough prices at the moment. It's very new. We have an option of the Mercury 13 without the second monitor or with the second monitor, and we have potentially the option, if we can get them, of the Surface 16 gig RAM or 8 gig RAM, and they all come with the 256. Oh, and Surface 8 doesn't have an SD card slot.
That's right.
Yeah, so you just have your, but you can take the SSD out, so you can take the disk out, but I wouldn't do that. So everything in is around 6,000 euros, sorry, 6,000 sterling, and that's around 7,400 euros with everything. But then if you don't have the screen and you have an 8 gig RAM, the other end of the options is 5,300, around that, pounds, and 6,400 euros.
Okay, and again, I suppose people who are tuned in, whether you're in the UK or here in Ireland, you can get on the Sight and Sound Technology website, sightandsound.co.uk, sightandsoundtechnology.ie, or give us a call, and we can talk about kind of your specific needs. And we estimate this device will ship, in the near future, in the next couple of months. Yeah,
I'm certainly looking at September for schools. Yeah.
Okay, we have no more chat. We have no more raised
Everyone's
hands.
gone silent.
Sharon, thank you so much. A really, really great demonstration as always. We always love having you on the Webinar Wednesday events. So thank you for taking the time to come and join us today.
You're very welcome.
That's it.
Thanks
from
for
Webinar Wednesday. Yeah, that's it for our Webinar Wednesday event for this month. We're back in June, on the 1st of June, and we look forward to talking to everybody then. So from Sharon and Stuart and everybody at Sight and Sound, thank you very much.
Thank you.